Hello everyone, good morning. It's cold and gray out here in England, but it's my favorite time of the year. But it's been a while since I've been on YouTube doing my devotionals. Again, no excuse, just getting caught up with things, I wanted to jump on here to speak to you about something that the Lord has been dealing with me on, and actually I've been growing with Him in certain areas, and asking a lot of questions, because in my spirit I've been questioning a lot of stuff, and a lot of it, came home this week. A lot of my questions, and as I was in prayer over certain things and about certain things, and sometimes when I pray in the Spirit, I don't know what I'm praying about, but the Lord asked me a question during my prayer, and He asked me if I was a Christian patriot or a patriotic Christian. Wow, that stopped me in my tracks, because I didn't know what that meant. And it almost sounded like a riddle to me. But luckily, the Holy Spirit within me, showed me what God had meant by His question. And then He said to me, He says, it's okay, He says, to love your country. He says, and want it, to succeed, and want it to be delivered from the evil forces, and so on and so forth. But make sure it doesn't become your God. Make sure it doesn't come first before Him, because we can get so wound up over the state of our countries. I'm American and I live in England, but I love my country, America, and it pains me to see what it's going through. And I did get caught up with all of the patriotism and so on and so forth, and the truth and all of that, to where that's what I was only talking about the most. That's where I was thinking about and watching all these prophetic things, and watching all of these YouTube videos and all of that, this sort of stuff that I just, also even Christian shows, and I just got caught up in it, to the point where God was only a little bit of it, a little bit of me. He only had a little bit of me. And I think, as Christians, I call myself a believer, because Christians is a word that's used loosely, actually. So I call myself a believer. And for us believers, it's really easy for us to get consumed by the state of our country and all the ugliness that goes on, and it's good. We need to know this, and we need to be proactive, and not be asleep at the wheel anymore. We need to do that. We need to be engaged with our government, with our school boards, with all of that sort of stuff. But then you turn yourself over to God, and you allow Him to use you, and wherever He's going to use you. We got to remember that, that God is in control. He has this world in His hands. He will have the nations as His inheritance. That was a promise to Him by the Father. So we need to get out of the way and stop banging on about this. We know about it, and now that we know, we can't say that we didn't know anymore. We have already known the truth. There's people out there. But when it continues on and continues on and continues on, you get consumed by it, by watching the shows, by watching the speakers, by watching, and all of a sudden, it ends up becoming more important than God. And we got to be careful with that, and that was a good question for the Lord to ask me, because I honestly could say I was a patriotic Christian, but I thought, no, I'm not. I don't want that anymore. And I felt in my spirit that I didn't want it anymore. I knew what I had to know, and I learned what I had to learn. And that was that. I'm engaged now. I know the wiles now of the enemy. I'm no longer asleep. But we need to stop being so consumed by it. And this was something that the Lord just really said, either I'm first or your country's first, And we also got to remember the Lord loves all countries. And me being in a unique position, being American and living out in another country, you forget the country that you're in that needs prayer. We also have brothers and sisters in these countries, in European countries, who are being oppressed, who are being, silenced and canceled and all this other things. It's not just about America, and it's not just, if America fails, the whole world, all of that sort of stuff. But we've got to pray for our own countries as well. I've been here in England over 20 years, and the Lord literally turned my heart towards England, and to pray for England, and to pray for the deliverance of England, and to pray for righteousness would come, and all of that sort of stuff. The fortunes of England, the glory of God upon England, and not just England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, all of that. I was missing it. I was so consumed by America and what was going on there that I forgot about the country that I was in, who also needs the Lord, who also needs the glory of God poured out upon it, who also needs their fortunes turned around and the shakeup in their politics. And I have a heart for France. And Europe is, wow, it needs a lot of prayer. And the Lord reminded me that He loves all nations and all people. Look at our brothers and sisters in the Middle East and China and all these other places who are actually oppressed and have not even a smidge of what we have, but they have more than what we have, because they are happy to go through anything, because for them, it is just them and God. That's all they have is God. If they had what we had in the West, they'd be like us in the West. And I'm not saying that's all bad, but it's not all good either. And but I just wanted to jump on and just let you know what God's been dealing with me about. He asked me another question, but I feel in my spirit that the Holy Spirit wants me to talk about that separately, because that's a whole different subject. And but He's growing me. The path with God is narrow and straight, but there's potholes in it, and there's rocks in it, and pebbles, and sometimes we're gonna come across them, but we got to just make sure, if we keep our eyes on God, we can navigate around them so we don't have to hit them. But sometimes I think it's good sometimes that we hit them, because it stops us and it makes us reflect. I hit a pothole, and it's made me reflect, and it's made me, how would I say, sift through what I was doing, and I was able to even hear the Lord more clearly. And when you hear God, he talks to you just like I'm talking to you, just like how you're hearing me. That's how I hear him. And I hear him audibly, And anyways, okay, I think I've just stepped on a cow pat. Yeah, this is where I'm at. So this is England, English countryside. It is beautiful. Oh, I love it. Anyways, cows are here. So, but yes, the path. So I hope this helps you realize, this is not just for Americans. This could be for your own country. And if you're putting your country first before God, then you have it the wrong way around. And it's Christ first, Patriot second. So we've got to remember that and allow him to do what he's going to do in our countries, in our adopted countries. But yes, let's not get caught up. Let's not forget who's on the throne. Let's not forget that we have to be proactive. And let's not forget that we have to engage with the world and take back our places at the gates. But let's not forget who needs to be first in our life. And, anyways, this is just something the Lord has been dealing with me. And, some may agree with me, some may not. But, this will help somebody who's going through the same thing I'm going through. I know there's probably one in the world, if you see this anyway. So, well, God bless. And I will speak to you again. And yeah, long live the King, King Jesus. All right. God bless. Bye.